like, because I just naturally thought, what a rude guy. Like, he is so sassy. That's what I thought. And people might think that's such a iconic, meetup or greet sort of place. I think it is, just not, in my honest opinion, like, I would say there are better iconic scenes that relate to airports. My favorite is Love Actually, where I see everyone nodding in it, like, because that's a scene where just so much. That's where they started and that's where they ended. But again, similar reference to how EXO Kitty started and how it ended so far.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see for more seasons. That's weird because no one asked me that, or no one asked me in any interview. They were like, was that the intended scene? No. It actually wasn't, because interestingly enough, in the first day when I was on set, we were already in the plane. And we were in the plane set. I was already seated with my, eye mask. And then Kitty walks in, she bumps her bag, instead of me bumping onto her originally, and she bumps her bag whilst I'm seated, and then she as she was apologizing to me or to Minho, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then she had a glimpse of the kiss, whatever that was, like a bag or whatever, and then she tries talking to him, saying, "I go to kiss," and then he lifts up his eye mask, saying, "No English," and then he turns back on. I like that scene, to be honest, but I guess they wanted a grand or better entrance for
the
Minho.
slow-mo walk. Yeah.
I hated that scene because I was having such a hard time. It was like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and we walked that scene like 17 times, and I was just thinking, what am I doing wrong? But yeah. Was that the first moment when he started calling Kitty Covey?
I feel like yes.
Really? I have no idea. If that is, I wonder why. Actually, no. You know what? It's like the same thing. I do that sometimes, but so I call Anna, not Anna. I just call her Cathcart sometimes. But it's like also sort of like a very jokish way for me to like call someone. Because it's also very formal and weird to call someone's last name, but
it's a callback also.
Yeah, right. And then I think Mino did that out of as a jokish way, but he really meant it in that way, not in a nice way. And then but yeah, that's interesting how he said that was the first moment. But that Chuseok scene for me was quite cute. That was their first little bickering moment, that people sort of miss, or at least what they said in his scene. He was like, I think that was season 2, where he was with a mop. He was just leaning on a mop saying, "I actually miss you guys bickering." I'm like, yeah, that's the bickering that everyone's missing. And I forgot your question.
What about her kind of intrigues him at that point?
I think that was the moment where he, sees what they see a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The charming way of Kitty Mooncovey, where she would react in certain things, talk about certain things, and there were some moments where he wouldn't agree, but then he felt what she was basically saying. So they shared a moment there. I'm not sure. It's just a Kitty's personality. People, it's easy for people to like her and hate her, I guess. Hard question, but I think without me, I'm gonna try answer your question at the same time, relate to my recent experience. But if I think when someone says they love you or they like you, it doesn't happen in that spur of a moment, or it just happened. You just happen to have that sort of feeling like 2 minutes ago or yesterday. It sort of accumulates to get to that point. So when someone confesses to you, you really shouldn't take it lightly, or you really shouldn't, receive it lightly either, or say it lightly, because you probably had plenty of time to think about it. And so I guess by the time you're confessing, you really know what you want. You really should know what you want at most points. And hopefully, yeah, good luck when you do confess to that person, because not all the time it's going to be pretty, you know? It's like what happened to Minho and Kitty, where he confessed his love towards Kitty. It didn't really go down well. And then he somehow walks towards first class, which I think is kind of smart for him. Don't you think? Like, he bought an extra ticket just in case things go wrong. I wish I could do that. He's lying the whole time. Yeah, I think he is. I think he tried to. He just, failed miserably by taking into someone else. He was just trying to fill that hole with something else. That emptiness inside of him by meeting someone else. But that is also sort of a thing that, I sometimes suggest, or I would hear those sort of advices. If someone said, if someone went through some sort of breakup, like, you sort of like forget, you sort of, to recover that certain moment or memory, you have to meet another person to sort of replace it. I can't remember what the exact phrase is. I remember in Korean, but it's basically that message. You have to meet someone to forget someone. It's not the best solution, to be honest, but that's what Minho did. Again, he didn't do it right. Ends up confessing once more, saying, "You broke my heart. Why do you think I'm doing this?" and all that. So, but again, very cute moment. I think that scene itself shows how young they are. Like, that's what happens when you're young. Because it's a raining scene. I mean, no one. I think I barely saw someone ever like hugging in the rain or like kissing someone. It only happens in the movies or films. I'm sorry, but hey, if that happens, I mean, I've danced in the rain before, and it started something corny. I just did it because back then I was really into dancing. But hugging someone in the rain, it's quite romantic, isn't it? I bet every girl or guy out there is, sort of dreaming at one point to see if that happens to them. Amounts of pressure, really, because we wanted to make it perfect. It was the first kiss. It was the first sort of scene that I guess I can say the majority of the fans, or at least what I saw from the fan theories and all the Mooncovey comments, we wanted to sort of reach the expectation. So we were going through choreography, directions with camera and everything. We were in a public space, people out there, we can hear karaoke from like different buildings, and like people from far distance, like once they saw the scene, you could hear them say "woo woo," and then me and Anna were like, we were just like locking in, like, okay, it's just you and me, there's nobody else around. That's also sort of romantic in it, yeah. Like, yeah, that's what we were going through, really. Is it? Really?
I feel like he is. Probably the best boyfriend.
Wow, what a title. You heard that, Minho? The best boyfriend title. You made it. Well, I'm not sure if all the people can agree with that sort of statement, but, nobody's perfect. Everyone has their own way of loving someone, and I'm sure it's very endearing as much as it comes from a good heart. So I guess, from that statement, Minho did something right, and I guess he might be imperfect with others, but I guess he is perfect in that sort of way.
Diplomatic answer. And-
Was it? Was it?
Yeah.
It was that moment where he had the conversation with Day, where they were both working on the music or the sort of track they were working on together, and he was asking Day how he doing, like, and he was saying, you know what, I'm doing what I love now, and my dad's, you know, sort of supporting me and all that. I think that's what happened. And then they were just talking about and he was asking, you know, like, how do you feel about yourself? And then he starts talking to him, but really talking to himself. And then he realizes, I should do something, or I really should chase after something I'm deeply in love with. And he was talking about dreams. It could be work, career, whatever. But then at that moment, he probably thought of Kitty, that she popped out of nowhere. And then it reminded him, you know, I don't want to be regretting this later on. So this is the moment where I should just go after. And then that's what he did. And I'm happy for him, really.
It's a great way to end season 3 and potential great lead into season 4.
We have no idea. We have no idea.
Hopefully we get news soon.
You know what? I'll be honest here as well. Like, because I hope we have it as well. Because, you know, it will be like, I hope he graduates. I want to see him graduate. I want to see him the last semester sort of thing. You know?